Hello, Aristos. No, I'm not offending. It's just that Corvus Belli has announced a video game based on, dare I say, iconic franchise, Aristeia.
Why?
Aristeia.
This means that buying a collector's edition wasn't a mistake, even after 4 years. Yes, there haven't been any new blogs on the site since 21, and there was no tournament box released this season. But the game still has
A loyal community of players.
154 fans in Spain who have played at least once this season. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that they're all in the same room with Bostre.
Fuck you!
The Tabletop Aristeia is perhaps the best game from Corvus Belli about extreme sports in the relatively near future setting of Infinity. But still, not as extreme as walking into a Polish pub and seeing you play Smart Missile.
To wam radzę, odstąpcie, świniopasy. Za chwilę pan Wiedźmin spuści wam ciężki wpierdol. Gdzie tu jest jakaś sztacheta?
A, pokaż co potrafisz.
Noż kurwa, nie musisz mnie namawiać.
For the computer game, Corvus Belli clearly decided to attract a new audience by changing the name to Hexadome. New Bites got into fight for the title of narrative player, and that's Hexadome. Apparently, Corvus Belli expects this kind of audience. Actually, authors even wrote a whole article on how they chose the name the night before the deadline, just like me with my thesis. The game is being developed by Canadian studio Blindspot Games, founded by former Ubisoft employees who worked on Roller Champions. Another future sports game with fights, but now with at least one ball for 6 players, and its success is slightly short of the current Aristeia. But we owe them the announcement of one of the best miniatures in the game.
Oh my god!
And now, about Hexadome. In the alpha test, I only managed to play one game due to the game's raw state. Now I have taken the game seriously to record a video as well. From this beta test, the game has an excellent tutorial that immediately explains all the mechanics clearly, and no one will judge you for failing the training task 3 times, except for the reflection in the mirror constantly reminding you that at 24 you're playing with toy soldiers and rewriting the Aristeia video script for the 10th time, without even making at least one funny joke. The game offers us the basic characters and the PMC lucky strikes. I don't know how it was in the tabletop game, but here the popular meta combinations are Hexer and Hannibal, clearly replicating the gameplay of a Pudge, namely using Hannibal to give extra moves to Hexer who can move opponents around her. And Lakshmi with Major Luna, who make a hole in any opponents thanks to Lakshmi's buff for higher roll results. The developers are trying very hard to preserve the spirit of the tabletop game, but they're adapting the mechanics for the video game, so you don't have to spend an hour and a half reading the rules and still choosing to play Uno. The authors want to create a mix of Overwatch and XCOM, but the Overwatch style dive is clearly lacking, which rather refers us to Hearthstone in terms of activity and variability, turn order, and presence of adapted tactics mechanics. To be completely honest, compared to Overwatch, game lacks a certain uniqueness. Right, my Snow Queen?
乖乖躺好吧。
The developer studio isn't Chinese, so don't expect the Chinese-style characters. But damn, it lacks a bit of those anime Infinity vibes, like the Japanese or Chinese tech pilots. Or the example of peak females' attractiveness Kendra. Yes, in real life I'm a white man, but in human sphere, I identify myself as a one-wound Zuyong paramedic, and the party won't forgive if Bixie doesn't excite the entire male half of Panushenia. As a result of my beta test, I managed to play a total of 5 games. If I hopelessly lost the first 3, by the 4th one I was already fighting for victory on equal terms, and on the 5th one I even won. So the entry threshold for Infinity veterans is not very high, and normal person will master the game even better. In terms of match time, the game competes with something like Dota or Hearthstone, as the game goes until the victory with score of 8 points or for 5 rounds. And this is the main complaint about the game, because neither in terms of involvement nor drive it can compete with the same MOBAs or shooters. Each player has 4 characters under control, and each one is given 1.5 minutes to make a move, which in theory stretches each round to 10 minutes. There are 5 such rounds in a match, which brings the total time of each game to a potential hour. And you start to get bored already at 20 minutes from the simple wait for your opponent to complete his move. And the closer the end of the game is, the more time it takes to complete a turn, because the outcome of the match depends on each action. There weren't many players on the beta, so matches took 5 to 6 minutes to find, and my very first game was against a world champion guy, judging by his gold 1 rank. It's clear that developers are working very hard, openly communicating with the community on their Discord, and Corvus Belli is consulting them in the same direction they created the tabletop game. But I believe the game really lacks broad feedback from players. And I urge everyone to join and challenge me to a duel in the next beta test, which started on 6th of June. And I would love to see a multiplayer Pride Time expansion to play with 3 imaginary friends at once. After all, this is Corvus Belli's first step onto the world of video games, and everyone wants to create their own Dawn of War as a business card for their universe. But the Spanish company is carefully preparing its path through games based on secondary projects. Thanks for watching, subscribing and liking gives you immunity from Subsidiary, and I will see you in the next video stream.